do we have a great Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage for you today.
You don't get the running man today. You don't get the running man because of victory. You get the cabbage patch.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Okay. Whatever Joe's dancing for those who are listening. Wow. What a win over Western Kentucky. A must win.
Yep.
And the Flames delivered. Guys, was that like the most complete game that we've seen from this team this year, would you say?
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
I mean, in all facets. Like, let's just jump first at the turnovers forced.
Yeah.
Right? We haven't seen a game like that from the Flames. They had forced 10 turnovers on the season coming in. Yeah. They forced 4 in this ball game. Like, talking about a difference maker, and you know, you talk about things on the defensive side, and there have been some ups and downs. Well, part of that is, you know, when you take the football away, that changes things dramatically, right? They were able to do that. They did it early. Even when the offense wasn't able to take advantage of it and score off those turnovers, they kept Western Kentucky off the board. They kept them from getting in a rhythm offensively. And
they got a red zone turnover.
They got a red zone turnover, the Jerome Jolly interception. So that best game by far in terms of taking the ball away from this Liberty defense right there.
And I thought, like, their ability to overcome some adversity.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, hey, they got the first turnover, but we didn't get any points out of that, right?
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh man, we got one. Then they march the ball down, and they still get the second turnover, Jolly. But then, you know, WKU came out. They hit some shots.
Yeah.
Like, that quarterback made a few throws.
And they had some others out there that
they had some others out there they missed, but they made some plays. But it was like when you say the complete game, it was one of those games where they just kept sawing wood.
Yep.
You know, they just kept sawing wood, kept staying after
striking the stone, Joe.
They were striking the stone. They were striking
wood.
That would have been. That's a good one too.
It's a good one. Sawing wood's a great one. You just keep sawing wood. Sooner or later, you're gonna break through.
One guy on each side of the long saw.
They were striking the stone. We're gonna keep striking the stone. Let's keep striking the stone.
I think that's the motto of this
But no, they
program.
kept on doing it. They kept on doing it, and then obviously the offense, you know, running the football.
419 yards.
Speaking of the offense,
lead right into that one.
Our guest today.
We doing it right now?
No.
I'm just whoa, okay.
It's a tease,
No,
Matt.
I get it.
Everybody calm down.
Like, man,
it's a very exciting day. I know.
on.
We have an exciting show, but I am just teasing.
Gotcha.
Our guest today is big boy offensive line coach Billy Dirkin.
As good as it gets.
Billy Dirks.
Billy Dirks. Oh my gosh, he is hilarious.
Full dose of Dirk.
It is some good content coming your way. And you might want to switch over to watch on YouTube for some of the plays that he's breaking down. And pretty much breaking Joe here in a little bit. But, sorry, back to your comments on running the ball.
I wonder how hard it'd be for Dirk to literally snap me in half. It wouldn't take long. I don't move as well as I used to. I used to be able to run away from him. He's not going to move.
Here's the thing.
But
if he gets his hands on you,
he gets his paws
it's
on
over.
me.
Yeah.
You might be able to kind of, you know.
Like when he put his paws on me, like right there, like he hit my shoulder, it was like, geez, he barely even, it was like a feather.
That's an All-American.
Yeah.
That's an All-American.
And he has a new hip, so you're in trouble.
And he's got a new hip, and he's probably potentially has a new knee coming on the way. So, I mean, he's got this guy's getting better. The older he gets, the better he gets.
Bionic man.
He's a
Like
bionic
man.
No, them running the football, yeah. I mean, and Dirks will talk more about this, but like the looks that they gave them I think the Liberty's offensive line did a fantastic job of being able to pick up the looks and then get to the spots that they needed to get to in order to get to the second level. And then you got to give credit, obviously, to Cooley and Billy Lucas. I thought one of the keys to that game was the ability for Billy Lucas to come in, Billy Coolhand Lucas, to come in series and to spell Cooley.
There's no drop-off.
Because and the other thing that it does, too, it gives them a different look. Billy's a tough runner, but within the hole, he makes people miss, right? So when he's really good at jump cuts. So if a body shows up, he's able to jump cut out of the way and get his shoulders north and south. Cooley is moving downhill most of the time. So that's tough on a defense when you have two different looks like that. And then obviously the ability for Cooley to get a rest on the series. So you felt as if as you wore them down with the offensive line, you felt as if Cooley was only going to get stronger and stronger as the game went on. And then, you know, Billy Lucas, obviously the run right before the half to be able to break it. When you thought potentially, hey, we're just trying to go in the half, they're going to get the ball.
You're just worrying about trying to run out the clock.
Just trying to run out the clock, and he does it. So, I mean, I can't give enough credit to that whole unit. And Dirk talks about also is the wide receivers blocking downfield, the offensive line blocking their supposed, and then the good balance between Lucas and Cooley. That's the football offensively that I think where Liberty is at their strongest. With that being said, Caden, they can still we still the capability.
Right.
You're not one-dimensional. Like if the run's not there at times, you still have the ability to throw the football down.
I mean, I think the Flames almost rushed for 300 yards in the first half. It was like,
290
in that last drive before half.
They were on pace for their most rushing yards ever in a game.
Yeah.
And then didn't need it as much in the second half. But both Cooley and Lucas each averaged 6.9 yards per carry. So no drop off whatsoever. Yeah, Salter just 6 for 11, 108 yards in the score. But of those 6 completions, I think 4 of them were either a first down or a touchdown.
Yeah.
And so when they needed him to throw, he did. And I want to shout out Dante Lee Jr. because
he made some huge catches.
Huge catches. They had a 3rd and 15 late in the third quarter. You're like, oh boy, this is tough. He makes a big catch for a first down that led to a Liberty field goal early in the fourth. And then a 3rd and 4 later in the fourth quarter, he makes a catch, converts. That led to a Salter TD that basically iced the thing.
Yeah.
So 2 big, if I asked you going in, name your top 5 pass catchers on the Flames, I don't know if Dante Lee gets in that. Right? And yet, when they needed somebody to make 2 big plays, he's the guy. Yeah. He was the guy that made the catch.
Is he on my fantasy team?
No, you dropped him.
Well, I think he got hurt at one point. So
and then I'll tell you what else too is, and don't forget about this, and this is especially helped late in the season, Juju Gray being healthy.
Game changer.
In 2 kickoff returns. One of them got
called back.
One got called back, but the other one went, right?
Yeah.
Like him in the kickoff game, I mean, that's chunk yardage right there.
Well, and think about this.
And then also they're using him more Aaron Bedgood-like.
The touchdown
right?
at the end of the first
the
half.
touchdown at the end of the first half, scrambling. But you're going to start seeing, if he's healthy, you're going to start seeing a lot more of Juju Gray down the stretch.
Well, Western Kentucky, opening drive of the second half, right? They go down, they score, 7-point ball game, and you even said on the broadcast, things start getting a little tight now.
It's going to be a shootout.
Whatever.
I remember
Kickoff, boom, Juju Gray return into Western Kentucky territory. You start with the ball there, and in the first play, they swing it out to him. He gets about another 30 yards. So that.
Yeah, they ran the screen.
They
ran a screen
when he
back.
got off the field, they're like, somebody get this boy some oxygen.
Yeah.
But that return, you're feeling like it could have been oh boy, this drive, we really got to make. And that return, you start in 100%. WKU territory, it takes a little pressure off, and then you're able to go.
I mean, Liberty is a different, when you look back early in the season, when they went back to early season, they weren't doing as much triple option stuff. Yeah. They have clearly over the last 3 games said, let's get back to our identity and the Jamie Chadwell offense of who we are, and they're running a lot more triple option. However, with that being said, having Juju Gray being that Aaron Bedgood type of player is what is allowing things to really free up. And then what you're going to see happen, what you'll start seeing happen is that as well as Cooley's run the ball, Lucas run the ball, they attack the edges with Salter, they attack the edge on the pitch with Lucas or Juju Gray. And then now they're going to see teams having to start commit more people to the outside, and that's when you're going to start seeing them hit some plays downfield. So as you've watched this offense, I know people have been frustrated. I know they've had their bumps in the road, but as you watch this offense develop, they are becoming a more complete product at the right time of the year. And that is something very good for Flames football fans.
And think about this. I believe this was the first game where Liberty has had all its receivers healthy. Yeah. Now take out Darius Copeland because that was a season-ending thing. Yeah. But
Quentin Reese was back.
Reese
Smith was back. You had Mobley was back. Sibley, all those guys available to you.
Yep.
So, you talk about it all coming together at the right time. You're also just getting healthier at the right time at the receiver position, which is going to help as well.
Let's talk a little bit about penalties, because if you go on the World Wide Web, some Western Kentucky fans are thinking that this game wasn't called fairly.
I was a little surprised. I went on, and a lot of Western Kentucky folks were like, oh, the referees, that was the difference, blah, 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 blah.
I mean, you just punched somebody in.
And to be fair, and we called it out on the broadcast as well, there was the horse collar that wasn't.
Right.
That wasn't called.
That was
the fumble from Cooley that they blew dead could have been going the other direction.
Oh, that was a massive play. That should the refs did not play that right. Yeah. You don't blow the whistle there.
But having said all that, I don't know about you, I personally have a rule. I have a rule where if
is this a personal
team
rule?
if my team gives up more than 400 yards on the ground, I can't complain.
Right.
Yeah.
And 4 turnovers.
That's my.
I mean, even if you did score there.
That's just my rule.
Yeah.
So in the end,
good point.
In the end, yes, there were some things. There was both teams. You can go back and nitpick. There was some late hit stuff that didn't get called.
I mean, Cooley could have had could have a concussion, or could have had a concussion that late hit.
So so there's some things. But bottom line, when you give up on the ground what they gave up, you've got nobody to look at but yourself.
That's right.
And Joe, were you surprised? I know we'll get into this a little bit with Dirks. Were you surprised they didn't do something else to try to slow down that Liberty rush? After the way 290 yards in the first half, we expected to see a lot different.
I mean, they played a ton of 3 down front, right? And they left the guards uncovered. And like Dirks will talk about that more. Like eventually they got there, but when they were getting there, unless they were actually blitzing through, which they got Liberty a couple times on those, is that the O-line was abusing it, right? They were getting all their steps, all their blocks, like the holes were fantastic. And then you got, so, my thought was like, hey, if you're going to leave both guards uncovered, those 2 big bubbles right there, you can slide down to a 4-man front. You can slide down, you can start covering people up to get more initial penetration so they can't get to the second level. And honestly, they didn't do a lot of that, which would surprise me. It's like, I think I said on the broadcast, this is like death by 1,000 paper cuts, right?
You did say
that.
And
it was like, if you're going to give us this, and we're it wasn't like they were whipping our guys, like we're blocking you. And I was very surprised that they didn't become more multiple, slant the fronts, try to take more chances in order to stop the running.
And I know, and we hear defense coordinators say this all the time, and we heard it from them as well. Like, we want to take away that explosive play down the field.
Yeah.
But
focus
that was last year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, as you look at who this Liberty team has been, I don't feel like they have been all that effective. Like, there's not the C.J. Daniels taking all these big shots down.
That's a good point.
They haven't been as effective in that. So Liberty's more than happy. If you're going to give them 6.9 yards a carry or 6.7, they'll take that. They're going to be patient enough. Are you kidding me?
100%.
They'll take that over and over and over and over again.
And here's the thing. If I'm a defensive coordinator, right, I am going to make the opposing – if I'm getting rushed on for 290 yards at halftime, right, I'm going to make the opposing quarterback complete more than 6 passes for a game if I'm going to get beat.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're getting gashed. And, who knows? Maybe they I didn't see it. Maybe they tried, with their minds, they tried to throw the kitchen sink at him, but they didn't. And Salter only completed 6 passes, and guess what? He didn't have to complete any more.
Right, yeah.
Right? It wasn't like, all right, if we're going to do this, let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's taken me so long, but to also tease men's basketball, huge win. We'll talk about that as well over K-State and the Paradise Jam. I mean, they have the right idea. Virgin Islands right now, that sounds
pretty sweet time.
Pretty sweet. Yeah. They will be playing for the championship tonight, tip-off 8 p.m. We'll talk, like I said, more about that in just a moment. Want to shout out everyone who was involved with the military appreciation. They did such an incredible job in this game with the flag and the Bedford Boys thing, the logo. It was just really, really cool to see that. And as we always say, thank you to everyone who serves for our freedom. You guys have anything else before we get to this incredible? Let's get to the big interview with offensive line coach Bill Durkin. What happens when the Flames rush for 419 yards? We get the Billy Dirkin in the house for an interview.
That's a full dose of Durkin. We're not looking for a small. We're not looking for a medium. We want the 400-plus yard full dose of Durkin.
Well, you got it, buddy. On Saturday, we were in full effect.
Yeah, that's right.
It was a good day. It was a good day.
Coach, when you look back to the beginning of the season, the O-line, it had a big question mark on it. Mm-hmm. What have you been able to do with this group in order to, 419 yards on the ground?
Yeah, we've been, I don't want to say we've been the best because we've been a little inconsistent, and that's the thing that's been a little bit frustrating, but part of it also is trying to find the right pieces. And we've played 9 guys on a consistent basis. So like X-Gray went down during the game and somebody was ready to step in that has played already. It wasn't the first time they're in the game. So that's helped us, and it's kept, I think, the competition high, keeping these guys competing every day to try to get better. And quite frankly, it's a great group of kids and they've bought in and they battle.
Doesn't hurt to have the best in the business.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's tough.
Now,
No, I'm just kidding.
Now, people might not remember, too. I think wasn't it the week leading up to the first game where John Paul Flores got hurt.
Yep.
And initially, you had Jordan White was going to be at center, correct? And so you had to make a switch. Fenimore comes in right there in the days before the first game.
Yeah.
Fenimore's basically been the guy, since that point. Like, take me through even that. Like, it didn't even start with the guys you thought you were going to have at the positions you thought you were going to have them.
No, you felt like you were pretty settled in, and, JP was in there, and, of course, Jordan's been the center, was our center all last year. And it was Tuesday and before Saturday, and he goes down. And, it was unfortunate, but that was the next move, which had been practiced.
Yeah.
That Aaron was the next guy up at that point. So we're putting Aaron in the game. And to put Aaron in the game, it was going to be to put him at center and to move to move Jordan out. And that's just how it went. So
I remember early on, Aaron was like sweating on the ball too much, and Kane was like, "The ball is soaking
that was
wet."
a talking point in that first game.
How did you get the sweating under control for
Cooler
Aaron?
weather.
He was sweating in the pie eating contest as well. So.
he was sweating because he didn't know what he was doing. No, I'm just kidding. Now he was. He's come a long way. He's done a great job. Great job. Love that kid.
He's great.
Now, in this game, we knew, and it was one of the storylines we talked about going into the game. Boy, they've struggled to stop the run. Obviously, we had back-to-back 300-yard rushing performances, but we were saying, well, okay, they're gonna have to do some things differently to try to shut us down. Were you even a little bit surprised the amount of success you were able to have throughout the course of the ball game, running the football against this defense?
Yeah, I mean, we had some success running the ball against them last year, and kind of figured a similar plan. Even though we're like, okay, we did have success. What are they gonna do to change that? But you watch their games, and they are consistently who they are, and they do what they do, and they try to create some chaos in what they do. But it's like, if you can break through the first level, you're going to fall down for 5. And if you make a guy miss, which Billy did a great job. All the running backs did a great job. And the wideouts, everybody bought into the plan of we're going to have to run the ball because we know that they're not as great at defending the run. And everybody battled and did a great job. But if you just get it through the first level, there was a lot of, if you notice, sometimes there wasn't a linebacker in the box.
Yeah.
They're all up on the edges. And if we just could handle ourselves, I said, one of the keys is like, when you run plays like we were running, zone type of plays, it's like you got to win one block. Everybody's got to do their job, and everybody's got to not let a guy come through. But if one guy can win, then that's where that ball's going to go. And it's not, so we did a pretty good job there of just being able to hang on. And, we were playing hard, which was fun. And, it's been good. We've done some growing throughout the course of the year, but it's been good.
Were you surprised in watching the game? Were you surprised that, they gave you a lot of three men down front, and they left both the bubbles open with the guards uncovered, which is like sort of you like that. Now they got you a couple times when they brought the backer and they sliced through, but they were. I thought they were going to be much more multiple than what they actually were, especially after you started having success. It was like, were you surprised that you saw so much three down front?
Well, I think there's 2 things. I think that their success has been in movement, moving guys around.
Yeah.
A lot of people tend to do that against us, which is fine. We're equipped. We practice it. Our guys do it. So it's not like we're inept at that.
Yeah.
But although it appears as though they were always getting to a guard-covered look.
Right, eventually. Yeah.
Well, like how they were going to play, whether the end was going to crash, the backer was going to plug, or the nose was going to run out. And you know what I mean? Like they were always getting to that. So they didn't necessarily line up on it. Now, the other part of that is when you line up and you got 4 down and you got guys on the guards, that allows us to be able to double team, which, if I could put 4 legs on 2 legs, I'm going to do that every day. Right. But that eliminated that in what they're doing. And, they're standing up their big kid and they're plugging them. We're just going to go block that. Yeah. But you're one-on-one. So now you got to win one-on-ones. Right. And we're won enough of them.
With that being said, how long, when you watch your offensive line grow throughout this year, and you've had a lot of different pieces of the puzzle getting there, how long is it taking? Are you to the point now where you feel from a continuity standpoint with moving your pieces around, guys get hurt, that obviously offensive line play is so much continuity. Do you feel as if you're in the point of the season now. It's like you go into practice and like these guys got it. We're getting into the intricacies now because their continuity is solid. How do you feel about your continuity overall?
They'll tell you no because they all want to play, and they all want to play every snap. And, sometimes you do that, and you find years where you clearly got your best 5, and those 5 are out there, and you're rolling, and they're always working together. But, you come to practice, and they're mixing around, and we're doing that. So there's not a lack of continuity, but there is also that, there's, I think, an understanding of certain – I'm going to like to tell you I got full control of this room. Okay?
I would
let me tell you. So well, we joke because a long time ago I learned this, that from a pro coach friend of mine, that he's like, you know what you got to do? You got to come up with a bunch of calls and just start yelling out words, because when the head coach comes over and he wants to know what you're doing, you just, oh no, coach, that's a Jimmy call. And he's like, what's a Jimmy call? Oh, we put that in last week, coach. Don't worry about it.
We got it.
So I'm like,
That's
okay,
hilarious.
we got to do something. Yeah. And they're like, oh, no, coach, we're just going to call it this. And I'm like, okay. Well, you got to tell me that so I know what is going on. But no, so some of them are just like, like I remember back when I was playing, and it was like, we had played together a long time, and like, me and the left tackle, it was just like, hey, we knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And there'd be a certain communication, and every week we'd come up with a different word for something that we were going to do that we did on a consistent basis. So anyway, they have some fun with it. And I like that. I want to give them some freedom to do that. I'm like, what do you want to call this? Because if they have some ownership in that, then they feel like, they're a part of it. And, I don't know. We try to have some fun with it, but sometimes it's good. Their continuity has gotten better. And I don't know. 420 is pretty freaking good.
You know what I mean?
Excuse my French.
I'd say it's pretty good.
So
it's okay.
something's
that's
working.
That's my point, is that you've seen that continuity build throughout the season. What I was asked, like, have you gotten to the point where you as a coach are like, hey, man, we're hitting our stride at the right time of the season?
The crazy thing is, there's so many things that we didn't do perfect. And we don't ever ask them to be perfect. We ask them to play their best, and we ask them to compete at a high level. But there were so many plays that were left out there. We whiff on a guy and we get tackled, and we should have converted. The first 2 drives we probably should have scored. We should have scored 50, to be honest with you. And we didn't do it because we made some mistakes. Kata missed the throw to Juju, and that's a huge play, probably a touchdown. But as a whole offense, so there's still so much that we can get better at, and but you want to be getting better, playing your best ball in November, and
you are
into December, and that was good. So the last couple weeks been good.
Yeah, Chadwell said at halftime, we should be up by like 35 right now. But that being said, the drive going into halftime, that Billy Lucas run, huge. I feel like that momentum swing going into half really, I don't know, just reflected like what was going to happen in the second half.
Yeah, now let me tell you what. Now, everybody did a great job. Billy Randon did a great job, but the guy who made that play was DJ Geff, and he did exactly what we coached him to do.
What look they give you on that play, Coach? I can't remember.
It was a 3-down look, but they all moved, they moved to the tight end, but then the tight end came back, and the guy covering a man tracked back.
Yeah.
And DJ held off the penetration because his backer went back, and do
you want to show it? Do you guys want to show it? You guys want to run it real quick?
Okay. Oh boy, we're gonna test that.
You're lucky. I got a new hip.
Yeah.
Because if I can.
Wait,
so hold on.
we gotta come over here a little bit, Joe.
Yeah, okay, I'll come over here a little bit. Where are we at, Dirks? Where do you want me? Where do you want me? You're DJ. You're DJ. Where do you want me?
You're right here.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, so I got. It was Jack Tucker
You're
trying to get.
You're bringing the ball this way. Here we go.
We're hitting it downhill right here.
Downhill right here.
So he's trying to help and double from here to the backer who's over here.
And I'm popping right here. I'm getting in the gap.
You can attempt to do that. No, and we teach him a certain technique, and he gets in here, and the backer tracks, and he just does this. Because one of the things we tell him is that as soon as you get leverage on your defender, you go vertical.
Yeah.
And he did exactly what he was coached to do.
And listen, and that's a young guy.
Golly.
First year here in the program that you talk about the growth throughout a season. I know he's been one of those guys. We think back to last year. what was it? Same 5 starters every game in the season.
Crazy.
That is
this
wild.
completely different story this year.
Completely different, but in a good way. I mean, like I said, I think that's, we've brought in some good kids who obviously can help us and have.
Yeah.
And, I've always said, I was at the University of Richmond a long time ago, and I told the boss, the center went down, and then the center came back, and I'm like, well, the center's playing pretty darn well that we put in there. I'm like, I'm not going to not play him.
Yeah.
He's like, well, we're not going to rotate centers. I said, Coach, I'm going to rotate centers. And respectfully. And he's like, are you sure? Yeah. We were a little more under center at that point. And, you worry about those things. Yeah. But I was like, Coach, they deserve to play. I'm going to play them. So, and that's always been the philosophy. And they all want to play.
Right.
But the joy and excitement that we had, I think you could feel on the sideline. If everybody, the defense, everybody, we're kind of.
They were coming over in Saturday's game, like everyone was showing love to the O-line. And I love Aaron Finmore came off after one touchdown. He goes, I love the physicality. Don't screw anything up. Don't do anything stupid. Yeah. It was great. I love that group.
Well, that's, people don't like when they get, okay.
Oh, boy.
Well, I'm going to be polite, but, we talked about it being a violent game, and you're physically assaulting. You're blocking. That's what it is. But it's a physical game, and you don't like to get pushed around. They get frustrated. So 12 gets frustrated, and then he decides he's going to punch our guy. And we're like, it's hard not to respond, but, you got to not respond. You just line up and do it again. Mm-hmm. And you do it again, and you do it again. And it was good.
The pride will go down for those opponents quickly.
Matt said he punched him in the midsection. Oh, he said this in the broadcast. Oh, maybe a little bit lower.
Maybe.
It was definitely lower.
That's brutal.
All right, so how can you build off this? Obviously, you win, so the next biggest game, now the one in front of you, Sam Houston. How are they different? What do you run up against these guys this week?
Well, last week it was a little bit, you're not sure where they're going to be, what you're going to get, who's going to be in there. They played a lot of guys. Sam Houston will play quite a few guys, not quite as many, but they are pretty much, you're going to know where they're going to line up. But they're probably the best defensive line up front that we've played.
They're athletic.
They're really good. They're big and they're strong, and they're good at what they do, and they don't do a whole lot. And I'm just getting into the weeds of it now, but they don't do a whole lot, but what they do pretty well. And they, their numbers speak for themselves. They're good. And so it's going to be different, and it might be a couple different plays that, like last week, there was a handful of things we did because we just didn't want to get into a situation where it was confusing and, and there were some things that weren't blocked perfect, but based on what they saw, I'm like, okay, I get it, and that's fine. And as long as we're going that way, we're going to be okay. You know what I mean? And our backs played great, and they read it, and they knew what was going on. So that all worked, but we're going to have to do some different things this week. So the fact that right before I left the building, Coach Korn's like, hey, I'm like,
I'm trying to do
we haven't run this play.
I
got to do the Flames podcast. I got to see
Come
Joe
over.
because he don't come see me anymore. But I'm like, okay, we're going to put it in a new play this week? Okay, yeah, sure.
On a
Let's
short
go.
week, too.
Yeah, short week.
No, we'll be fine. Like I said, I got a good group of kids who are smart. But we take a lot of pride in trying to make things simple. I'll argue, but we made probably 5 different play calls, and but they look like 25. Because, he can read this guy, he can read that guy, but we're blocking the same thing every time. And that makes it, you can have some success when you develop the skills to be able to execute that play. So,
This is, speaking of the corns,
let's see.
corn.
That's what he said?
This is the War Pigs hat. Is that going to be on sale for us to?
We're going to have to go to work on that.
You might need to open up your own Etsy shop.
Etsy? Yeah.
You might need to do make a little something on the side.
I think that's a great looking hat.
I would wear
All
that.
right, well, let me just say it. Where's Brad? Is he in here?
Brad Queen.
Yeah.
I got a beef with him. It's not all Brad. It's no. It's not Brad probably at all. But it was Tyler. It was Connor Wagner, and the edit guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is what I want to do, right? I want to get a war pig. I need help with a war pig. That's where we're gonna be.
Yeah.
And so I want the letters, and I want this to be able to put it in the room.
Yeah.
And you got this big wall when you walk in the room.
This looked a little like Piggly Wiggly to me. Is that what you were going for?
No.
No? Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Coach, you know it's not bad.
All right. I'm going to show you the real logo. I don't know what this is about. I got to speak with Colton because there was no prior communication about what was happening.
You needed to have
here.
approval.
He was just showing love.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm the boss of
Yeah,
this.
right.
The last
You
time I
could have
checked.
file approval.
But we'll see.
Oh,
Coach, you know
man,
it's
it's
not
getting
bad.
I love
out of
Piggly
control.
Wiggly. Piggly Wiggly was in South Carolina.
Yeah.
I had to be a
Who
little
doesn't?
Piggly Wiggly.
Who
Y'all
doesn't?
like
Y'all
Piggly
love
Wiggly.
I love
Piggly
Piggly Wiggly.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I would pub sub over Piggly Wiggly, but I
You know what, Coach? I think-
Wait, so we get this. I'm like, I want these big letters.
Yeah.
Big, we're big
Yeah,
bad dudes.
big guys.
Let's get some big letters.
Yeah.
They're like this big. The P is like this big. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, we're gonna put it up because I don't have anything else to put up right now. But this
You
is
know,
not gonna
we
work.
can paint it. I love painting. We can I can do like some blue tape, and we can do
Yeah.
we
Bring
just.
in.
Come on,
I'll make
paint
it.
it, Emily.
We'll
bubble
paint
letters.
as big of a P as you want.
Coach, you know what's
You're
not-
hired.
P-I-G.
You know, it's
Let's
not a bad
go.
idea. You know, back in the Redskin days when they had the hogs, right? And then they did the,
So you,
Oh, pass out the pig noses.
the hog. Yeah, the hog. They had the hogettes. Used to be all the guys dressed up in the.
Yes.
They'd wear a thing. They had the big. All,
Oh, gosh, he's-
you
Hold
have
on,
the jokers.
Hold on,
you
Joe.
have jokers. Then you have a sub crew beside the jokers
Oh,
who are
man.
like the war pegs.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do
Flame
this.
war pegs.
I'm glad we're sorting this out.
Yeah, I'm
and
glad
then
we're
now
getting
you
to the bottom
now
of
you
this
got a
one.
fan base,
Yeah.
Coach.
yeah.
Now you got a personal fan base. He's going through his
Hold
phone.
on, hold on.
He's going.
It's in there. I just don't know where it is, and I can't see. I didn't bring my glasses. So.
Okay. Look at Brad Queen over there with his
all right,
head
hold on.
down
Oh,
on
he
the
found it.
table.
He found it.
This
Oh
is
my
great,
gosh.
Great listening.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the hogs.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh,
the hogettes.
wow.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
is
let's show the
great.
camera.
Show
Show
the
the
camera.
To the camera there.
Yeah, that's the
So you can
Redskins,
get
the old
that,
Redskins,
Yeah,
hog,
there you
the
go.
So
hogettes.
we were playing in the military bowl in
Yeah,
was it
DC.
RFK?
RFK, yeah.
Yeah.
That's old
Look
RFK.
at that.
Look at
Oh, aren't they
Right
going
up.
back
Come on,
there?
guy.
I heard
You know
they
what I'm
might be
talking
going-
about?
Coach, I forgot to ask you. You guys just went to UMass. Do they have a statue of you up there? I know you were an All-American.
Not a
They have a
statue.
banner,
We
right?
do got a picture of that too, but no, they have a big banner outside.
That's
But
awesome.
we were quite I was a little disappointed. I shouldn't have been, but no, our visiting locker room was our locker room.
Oh, okay.
And that was our football facility
Yeah.
back in the day. And we used to meet in the bathroom. Like it was tough, but it was we didn't know any better. It was great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But when you walked in, there was a wall on the right, and then behind that was the coach's locker room. On the other side was the players' locker room, but they had the All-American pictures.
Yeah.
And so, some of them who had been there before, with mostly I guess coaches, but they're busting them on me. Oh, we're gonna see Coach Dirk on the wall, and then we walk in and all the pictures were gone.
No,
They
no
took it
dirts.
down.
So they moved them into or they put a different picture. Something's in the new facility, but there's still something hung on the side of the building, on the side of the stadium, which is pretty cool. So
Take the whole crew, you march them over there, and you point. This is the Dirks. It's the
House
man.
that Dirk built.
The house
All right,
of Dirk
well,
Belt.
a lot to play for on
Yeah.
Friday. Can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It'll be an exciting.
I've got just one more question before
Sure.
we go. Correct me if I'm wrong. You seem like a guy that probably knows your way around the Thanksgiving meal,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Build me.
What gives
what's
you that
your-
idea?
What is your? You can build your plate. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, we're building a run play right now. We're building a really
building a run
solid.
play?
We're building a run play. We
Well, I
got to
can't
get
give
all.
away all the secrets
Yeah.
then, so we got to
but
be a
build
little
a plate.
bit.
Build a
Right.
plate, Dirks.
No, of course I'm going to go with the turkey. I love
Gotcha,
turkey now,
gotcha.
right? But you got to have gravy.
Yeah.
I love gravy.
On
Every-
a lot.
But
of
I'm a
things.
huge mashed potato guy. My
Yes.
mom made like
No,
now they were kind of
no.
like whipped potatoes.
Oh yeah. Lots of
So
butter.
like my wife, when I'm home, my wife is like,
No.
"You're making the mashed potatoes,"
Yeah.
and I'm
He
like,
would have been. I thought you would have been more of a green bean casserole
But-
type of guy.
Dirks likes mashed
I
potatoes.
like green bean casserole,
yeah.
but not like
Right.
it's the
I'm
number
kidding,
one.
Coach. That was it. That was completely
Okay,
sarcastic.
all right. Well, I'm not sure.
Stuffing. We go stuffing.
Huh?
The
oh,
stuff-
love stuffing.
yeah.
Matt
My
wants
wife makes
stuffing
this
to be
outstanding
all
stuff.
year round.
You gotta have there's a little sausage in it,
Oh.
and it's outstanding. It's a great recipe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So anyway, it's outstanding.
Yeah.
And then we'll go with that. I'm not a big cranberry guy though.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
I'll eat it,
Right.
but
Right.
Too sweet.
my wife loves it.
Yeah.
And so she's always trying to make it, and I'm like,
Okay.
that's great. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good for her.
Yeah.
And then give me some pecan pie to finish
Oh
that.
yeah.
Do you get mac and cheese in there at all, Coach?
I
That,
know.
not for our
That was
Thanksgiving.
never
no.
a thing at our
Really?
Thanksgiving.
No.
No,
Mac
mac
and
and cheese.
cheese.
Like
Mashed
maybe a little sweet potato.
Sweet potatoes?
Yeah, sweet potatoes. That's a good.
I
Sweet potato
like.
casserole.
Okay. All right. Hold on.
Hold on, let
Here
him
we go.
explain.
Double potato.
I like-
marshmallows on top, Coach.
I see. I like that. I really do, but not as a part of my meal. That's more like,
Like
a
a des-
dessert
yeah,
to
it's
me.
a little
desserty.
I don't. It's sweet. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not going that route, bro.
Coach, I
Until
have-
I'm done. done with my salty savory.
Go to your salty savory.
Then we'll move on to that.
I have one of the best chocolate pecan pie recipes
Chocolate
ever.
pecan?
Really?
Oh my gosh.
never
It
brought
is
that, please?
incredible.
How many years
I'm
have you worked here? You've never brought that in once.
I know. It is incredible. So maybe I'll
All right,
have
we'll
to...
do a swap. I'll send you my
Yeah.
best run play scheme, and
There
you
you go.
send me your
Yeah,
recipe.
yeah.
For
Done.
the
Done.
Done.
Good.
Sounds good. Okay, Coach, safe travels. Get
Thank
those
you.
big
Get the
boys
W, Coach.
continuing
Yeah.
to roll
Yeah.
at Sam Houston, and let's play for a conference championship.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Be good.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, take care.
I mean, how do you not love Bill Durkin?
Billy Dirks.
I mean,
You get the
I
sense
just
like
love-
no one enjoys, I feel like, seeing their guys succeed more
Yeah.
than Bill Durkin. Like,
You
don't you
know.
feel like he just like enjoys the heck out of seeing his big guys go out there and have success.
Because the Dirks and offensive line. Here's why I feel it's been a special connection to Dirks.
Okay.
Right? Where
I feel that they do have.
we do have a
special
connection,
way,
and
yeah.
my connection is this: when I was playing football at Carolina, for some reason I don't know what it was, I always hung out with the offensive linemen. I love the offensive linemen. Now they used to beat up on me a lot, right? And I used to take my abuse, and I think that's part of the reason they have special love for me, right? And I was willing to, kept coming back for more. And so when I saw Dirks and like got to meet Dirks and hang out, well, I'm like, it just felt it's just right there.
Yeah.
Me and Dirks got the connection.
Yeah.
He's upset that I haven't come to see him more often. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to commit to come see him more often. I'm going to bring him a chocolate pecan pie.
No, don't even try. I wonder if one of the plays this week they're going to call it the mashed potato.
The mashed potato.
That's a good one.
Could be.
Or the pecan
Could be.
pie. I mean, how much do you think it helps, like the offensive line players, when you hear your head coach, though, like say how much confidence he goes in to every game, like knowing what he's going to get up front and their ability to run the ball
It's not-
week in and week out?
You hear coaches say all the time about their guys like, oh, he's the best in the business, whatever. Like that's not like hyperbole with Bill Durkin. Like he is legitimately, and other people in the sport will tell you this too. A number of the coaches we've talked to over the years or the last couple of years will say something about him in particular. He's one of the best offensive line coaches in the country. And you talk to guys who have played other places that then come play for him, and they will tell you as well, like his attention to detail, the way he
100%.
communicates and coaches is different than most people do it.
You know what's really cool, in all seriousness, really cool. I had Dirks was over at my house one time, and we were sitting around just talking football, and we got up just like we did right there, and he talks a lot about things that I'd never heard before, right? And I was like, that's really good.
As far as like
football stuff, like
yeah.
no.
Like, are we talking about like aliens?
But no, like in all seriousness, for example, like he talks about a lot like balance and leverage position and different things that he teaches as not necessarily that, hey, I can bench press, 500 pounds, right? He's like, no, he's like, he talks like, where's the weakest point? And when you're going up against a D lineman, what's going to knock him off balance, right? If your chest here, and he's a 500-pound bench presser, and you're that's not going anywhere, right? Yeah. But that hip's a little bit of a weaker spot. So if I can hit that hip and turn him a little bit and move my feet, it's like those small attention to details that you think is too linemen. They're just big maul and banging. No, this is like tiny footwork step, tiny footwork step. Yeah. Where can I knock that guy where he's at his weakest spot in order to put him off balance, right? So there's all these details that it's not just bang and tough and all that. It's like it's the technical part of it that he does such a great job.
Joe's gonna come in wearing a sling next week.
He found your weakest spot.
I thought he was taking down.
He definitely found your weakest spot.
That monitor back here.
I mean, he put that one meat hook on me. He put that one meat hook and barely even touched me, and like he just found my balance spot, and I almost fell over.
That didn't take long.
Yeah,
he's like, this one's easy. Yeah, this one's really easy.
That's much here. It's more here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gonna be the reason, the new excuse why Joe's not training for the mile.
Yeah, that's right. Dirk hurt me.
Dirk hurt him. All right, we'll do Snell scoring system and Flames fantasy and talk a little Sam Houston in just a moment. But first, we got to get to this huge win from the Flames at the Paradise Jam over K-State.
Oh.
I mean, every time I feel like the Flames were like getting a little bit of a lead, K-State would come back. They're a great program. I mean, they've had so much success in the Big 12, but I mean, it was just, I was really nervous those last few shots, but it was just so great to see them pull this one off.
67-65, and I think the biggest thing is you talking about you're going up against more length, more athleticism than Liberty has seen. You're talking about, Big 12 team that's had a lot of success, and yet Liberty, This game was a game the whole time.
Yeah.
Like you never felt. There have been games, and we think, oh, it's easy to compare to last year, but there are games where you're like, all right, well, we're gonna have to knock down 15 threes.
Yeah.
Right. That's the only way we're finding success.
They didn't.
And
they knocked down 9, right?
you didn't have to do that in this game.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to. You felt like, okay, you can get it inside. You can do some things. The other thing I'm gonna say about this game is Liberty did not play its best game.
Right.
No,
Like Zach Cleveland, 0 of 8 from the field. Right now he did, I think, was it 8 assists, 9 rebounds, whatever. So he definitely contributed, but didn't score from the field. You had Owen Aquino in foul trouble. He missed
he had 3 fouls in the
huge
first
chunk
half.
of this ball game because he was in foul trouble. So you feel like you didn't play your best game. But here's the guy, and I mentioned it a week or two ago. Do you remember Joe? You remember Dante Hall for the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Return guy.
Yeah.
They always wanted to make him a wide receiver.
Nickname.
That's it.
Yeah.
He was never a receiver. He was just a special teams ace. They call him the X Factor.
The X Factor.
That was his nickname, the X Factor. Isaiah Enan is the X Factor.
Yeah.
That's what he is. He goes for 16 and 7 off the bench. He knocks down a couple of threes, and his length allows him to come in when a guy like Aquino's in foul trouble or whatever, and take guys away on the defensive end. His length is a problem. It's something that it's a luxury we've never had coming off the bench for crying out loud.
Right.
And he is the X factor for this team. And you throw him in there. And the other big thing that I've noticed with this group so far in this young season is Colin Porter's different than he was a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
A year ago, what was one of the complaints? Well, if he beats his man off the dribble, he still can't finish, right? It's always driving to pass.
Right.
Well, he's made some adjustments there, and he's driving and he's finishing. He had 17 points in this ballgame. That is the most he's had since the ASUN semifinal game against EKU 2 years ago.
Oh, was that
when he had 25.
Yeah.
So he had that. Here's the interesting thing. He had the 17 points. He had 0 assists in this game. He has started every game he's ever played here. 75 games.
Wow.
This is his first 0 assist performance in his career. So that's bizarre, and it tells you what Cleveland was doing and all that. But he was effective scoring the basketball against longer, more athletic team. Maybe the most athletic team we'll see all year potentially. And he scores 17, including a massive 3 when Liberty was down with about 2 minutes left in this ball game. So you're seeing, even on a night where the guys you think you're going to have to lean on, Zach Cleveland to score, doesn't, you have enough coming off that bench. You have enough depth where you can overcome it.
Do you know what that segment just was?
What was that?
That was Matt Warner's Numbers That Matter.
Numbers that matter.
Matt Warner's numbers that matter.
You
Powered
just
by Alcova
delivered.
Mortgage.
Powered by Alcova Mortgage.
Yeah.
Numbers That Matter
what's
by
that
Matt
matter?
Warner.
You know-
Like Matt, get it?
You know what's really cool?
That was really, really good stuff.
You know what's really cool though is like when you play a team like Kansas State, you know they're going to be long, you know they're going to be athletic, right? And it's such good for the future of Liberty basketball this year that just to say, like you said, hey, we didn't have to hit 15, 18 threes in order to make it a ball game.
20.
Only shot 20, made 9 for 20, right? 9 for 20, so under 50%. Still shooting it well. But at the same time, you feel as if there's two things. One, athletically, that you can match up and hold up. And I think when we had Richie on, that it's what he knows as a coach. It's like the athleticism can make up for some errors or not completely understanding everything about the pack line. It doesn't have to be perfect because the athleticism can bail you out sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Zach Cleveland, like you mentioned, 0 for 8, but I feel like there were some shots that he, like around the rim.
There were some, we missed like 3 layups in the last like 4 minutes or that were just, you're pulling your hair out thinking if we lose this game, you're going to think back to that.
Yeah. But one question I have for you: only 8 guys played. Do you see that like being a theme moving forward with this team? Is like keeping that rotation a little smaller?
I don't think it'll be all the time, but I actually am encouraged by that.
Yeah.
That Richie did kind of tighten the rotation a little bit there. I do want to give 2 other quick shout outs. First off, when we complain about it, so I want to give them credit. 10 of 14 from the free throw line. Including Owen Aquino, 6 of 8. He knocked down some big ones down the stretch of this ball game, and he had struggled from the line on the season. So that was a good sign. And then one other guy, you talk about coming off the bench. Xander Yates was one of those 8 guys. He played 3 minutes. I believe they were all 3 at the end of the first half. He came right in. I want to say it was off an inbound pass. Knocked down a catch-and-shoot 3.
I think it was
and then at the other end went down. got to stop defensively. Like, he only played 3 minutes. He was impactful in those 3 minutes. And that's what they call being great in your role.
Yeah.
And he was when they looked to him there. So, like, yes, I mean, that's a big win.
So really, when you look at that, coach is only playing like 7 guys.
Really, for the most part, it was more like 7. And Taylor Peter only played the 10 minutes off the bench as well. So, yeah, he leaned on those guys. Big win. And I said something about this. I tweeted something that, like, it's a big win for this team, like confidence, right? Okay, that's a Big 12 first ever win over a Big 12 opponent for Liberty. Like, that's a great win for this group and their confidence. That's a great win for the program in terms of, like, I'm telling you right now, all these people are waking up across the Midwest being like, oh, let's check the score, and be like, what? Who is this?
Right.
What's going on? Like, what's this team? What's this program? Or all these fans in the Midwest that are flipping it on last night when they see it's a close game and be like, who is this group that's taking K-State to the wire? Like, you're just opening up, so many people that have no clue who or what Liberty is or what it's about to this program, how good it is, how good it's been, and what it stands for. So that's just another one of those wins that just opens people's eyes to what's going on.
Where are the Flames at next? They're back home?
Well, they're tonight.
Yeah,
tonight.
They're
McNeese, Will Wade, and that's a good program. So
McNeese is good.
They are good. So
you know what? I feel like the Flames should play more tournaments.
Emily's been begging for them to play more road games
I just love
in
that
neutral
people were
sites. Yeah, it was
Matt
a good
and
crowd.
I are getting along because both of Matt's teams.
She was really
I don't know how Mizzou did this, but both Mizzou and the Chiefs lost last week, so we got in a little tiff.
Yeah.
But
the tiff that you two had last week, I felt like
got a little heated. I had people text me about that.
I just wanted.
Yeah.
I wish that it worked out where like we could go and play. I know it saves on travel, but I love the environments. And there actually has been a really good environment at UVI.
And K-State's head coach, Jerome Tang, had lived down there in the
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so there was a lot of K-State people there.
Yeah.
So it was a pro K-State crowd.
Right.
But yeah, so that made it
When's
even
that
more
McNeese ball game?
Tonight, 8 o'clock.
At 8 o'clock?
Tip off 8 p.m. for the championship. So that will.
And then they'll be back here Friday.
Friday.
Here's the hard part.
What channel's that game on?
ESPN Plus.
Okay.
Friday is a 4 p.m. start,
It's
I
a 4
believe,
p.m.
in Central Penn, which you've got Liberty football going at the same time.
Exact same time?
You've got the Chiefs Raiders at the same time. It's a tough day in the Waterhouse.
Yeah.
Matt's
gonna have all these programs.
I've been trying to get this basketball game moved. I'm like, can't we go earlier? Like, what do we say we do this thing at noon?
Man.
So for the 8 people that are watching the basketball game while Liberty football's playing for a spot in the conference championship, we'll be there. Naz and I will be on the call.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get to our Snell scoring system, Flames fantasy update. Obviously,
it's a Snell.
I don't know where I got rid of that trophy because I think that it's just like a waste to have. Finally, I spent all this money on a trophy.
It's right back there. It's right there. It's hidden under the eye.
No, I was talking about the Flames fantasy. Doug's going to
run. Did you have fantasy?
No, I went Snell first, and then I was just teasing the.
Come on. No. That's no.
Oh my gosh.
All right, first the Snell scoring system.
I'm putting that on my university card.
Remember, Liberty won. They beat Western Kentucky 38-21. Joe predicted 38.
Wow.
35 in overtime. I think you should lose something for not saying it, having it in regulation. I went 24-20 Liberty win. Emily took Western Kentucky. Emily was just, she was just infuriating everyone this week.
You're a train wreck.
Yeah.
You are a train wreck.
You guys said, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm at home. I'm kidding. I knew one of us had to go against the grain. Okay. I mean, I picked Liberty against Oregon. So this is the first time ever.
That's the first time you've ever gone against the grain?
That's the first time ever. So I just want to say, I am happy to lose.
Absolutely. I'm not knocking you for that. I gave a lot of thought to that.
Yeah.
I really wanted, and I'm like so proud of these guys. Real quick, before you get into the numbers, I was actually talking to a player before the game, and we were just talking about this season and everything. Just about how it's kind of been like a little bit of a roller coaster, I guess you can say. And he's like, I don't think it's that. I think that it's just last year. That doesn't happen. Like last year is just so unique, so rare. It was so special. The players that we had, it was just different, like you don't see that. So I, put a lot of thought into it. And I was just like, I just think I need to be better about those roller coaster rides. My emotions are usually on the roller.
You are a roller coaster ride. That's Emily's nickname. No. Listen. Well, listen. 8-2. 8-2.
8-2. That's what he
Now,
said.
Now, I know everyone's like, okay, but we could put some of these teams away, and it's been a little bit sketchy, and Kennesaw State, all that stuff. But still, all that, and you're sitting 8-2 with one win away from going back to the conference championship.
Yeah. You're right.
That's all you need to say.
Gosh, I hope they bring it to the Bearcats.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, they'll bring it back, and it's the ability to be able to pick the right players, to know who's going to be contributing in order to score the touchdowns and etc.
Let's get to Snell's scoring system real fast.
Okay,
so Joe and I split.
How we split?
We each. Well, I was only 1 point off for Western Kentucky. I'm not going to get deep into the numbers here. That's Jeff Snell's thing. Basically, he said, remember, I was trying to close this thing out. So he says, is it over? Is it time for Matt Warner to rush the field? And he said, no.
Not so
Just
fast.
like the Arizona State BYU game.
There's 1 second on the
Clear
clock.
the field. 1 second left. Not done yet.
Not so fast.
Not so fast.
Not so fast.
Emily
gotta wrap
could
this thing up.
still has a chance.
So
she
you're
still
saying
has
there's
a
a
chance.
So
But
you're telling me there's a chance.
What's it at?
Basically, she has to win this week,
Win Sam Houston.
win the championship,
Win the championship.
win the bowl game,
Win the bowl
and
game.
I don't get second place in any of those weeks.
Emily,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
you and I.
That's like Sam Houston's
And
chances
then that
to
would
make the championship game.
initiate a tie.
It's you and
So-
I versus him.
Yeah.
I know.
Since you lost,
Let's
the
So right
fantasy,
now
I'm
I have
on your-
11 and a
I'm
half.
on your squad.
Emily
I'm on
7
your
and a
squad.
half.
Okay.
Joe
You and I.
7.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even do my research about Sam Houston to see my score prediction. All right, oh my
it
gosh.
hasn't helped to this point. So maybe just
No, come on. We're gonna do.
Do you
this,
want to
Emily.
go score prediction now, or do you want to go?
No, I need to think. I need
Okay.
time, Matt.
want a
There's a
bold
lot
prediction.
going on
How
this
did bold
morning. I had to
predictions
edit basketball highlights.
The bold predictions, Joe went
I don't
with
think I did that.
overtime. We said that was bold enough. Emily said Quentin Cooley would do the Trump dance. I don't think he did. We may have to review the tape on that.
Yeah, we need to review
I don't
the
know
tape.
that he did.
And Joe said somebody was going to get punched below the belt.
Yeah. Well,
They
and that
And they
I think
did.
it was my guy Jacob Jenkins who I had scoring 2 TDs. So
Yeah.
he did score 2. Well, no, he no, tough break there. So we all were off on the bold part of
man.
it, but
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Well, let's go bold prediction. Sam Houston State.
You want to
Okay.
do it right now?
Yeah.
Give it to me, Joe. You want to
We'll
start? You
score
feel
it.
like you're
Oh my
feeling
gosh,
it.
I'm like
I think.
not good at this.
I think that Dante Lee. I'm going to jump on the Matt Warner. I'm going to jump on the Matt Warner bandwagon.
Okay.
Because I think you're right about this one. Because this front for Sam Houston State is going to be good.
Yeah.
There's going to be a tougher team to run on.
Yeah.
Right. We'll run the ball, but it's going to be tougher to run on. So we're going to have to do a little something through the air. So I'm going to go with Dante Lee, 2 TDs.
Okay.
That's bold for Dante Lee.
That is for sure.
So
What's the score though?
Oh, you want score too?
Yeah. Well, that's typically what we've done.
All right, I'm going to go. The score is going to be. It's going to be a tougher one.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 24-21 Flames.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, 3-point win.
That is very similar to what I just put down. I went 24-23.
Whoa.
Liberty, and I have a Colin Carhew game-winning field goal.
Car.
How about that? We didn't even talk about that. The field goal gets blocked.
Yeah.
And it flutters over.
Flutters through.
Are you kidding me? So the good vibes continue for Colin Carhew. Game-winning field
You're
goal.
a game winner?
Game-winning field goal.
You watched the Chiefs game. That's
inside the last minute. Well,
yeah, that's how
right.
they've won every
Yeah.
single game.
Yeah.
this year.
It's unreal.
So annoying.
It's unreal how
I'm
they
going to
win
go
the games.
31-17 Liberty. I think we're riding. I'm riding with those War Pigs, and we're going to be
Oh, you're
rushing
taking
the
Liberty
ball.
this week.
I'm taking Liberty this week.
Okay.
And we'll have just 4 rushing touchdowns, math out?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
fair.
joking. Yes, 4 rushing.
That's 4 touching math out. Yeah.
4 rushing touchdowns between Billy Cooley and Lucas.
Yeah.
I mean, Caden Salt. It doesn't
Quentin
matter who.
Cooley.
Quentin Cooley.
Okay, so
we're
real
on the
quick,
ground.
let's go to we had one mailbag question from our buddy David. It was
giggly
basically, he asked how much of our running success was based on Western Kentucky just being bad, stopping the run, versus what our O-line did. And I think we touched on that a little bit. So, and then how much of a factor is this going to be against Sam Houston, the run game? I want to just give you a quick stat. So Western Kentucky last in the conference in rush defense. They now give up over 206 yards per game on the ground. Sam Houston, the second best rush defense in the conference. They only give up 138 a game. only 3.8 yards per carry. So they are a much better rush
So I should
defense.
have known that number before.
So it's not going to come easy. All that to say, it's not going to come easy.
But they haven't seen the war pigs of the Liberty Flames. So
yeah, we'll see.
they don't
So
know.
wait, what was the first part of the question again?
Basically, just like now you get the Sam Houston defense. How much more difficult is it?
And I said this last year. I said when I saw Sam Houston play when they were because they were coming up from FBS, right?
FCS. Yeah.
FCS, sorry. FCS, they're coming from FCS. And I said, that is an athletic defense.
Yeah.
Like, they've got grown men who can run on that defense. And I think they're going to be the most difficult team to run on. Now, with that being said, I think this offensive line and running backs have gotten to the point where it's not going to be Western Kentucky, but we're still going to have success running the football. But in order to get this win, more is going to have to be done through the air. It can't be it's not a 6 completion game. This is a Salter and the receivers are going to have to play better.
Who is the former Jalen Jimerson is on their defense?
He's at Sam Houston.
Yeah, so
Right.
he's in Sam
No,
Houston.
I think
so
it's going to
that'll
be a little bit
reunion.
of a, and I mean, we kind of said it with our scores. I do think it's going to be a little bit of a grinded out, like.
No, I'm going big. I mean,
I don't
you got
think
my
this is.
confidence
I don't
back.
think this is
What'd
going
you
to be
say,
like
Sam?
It's a
a
31.
high scoring. That's not the way I see it. Like I think this is.
Well, we're about to find out.
I mean, it's going to
Friday
We'll
night.
see.
Friday
I mean, you
afternoon.
can't.
So I
66
officially-
degrees.
Friday afternoon.
66 degrees.
Hey, what are you talking about?
24% chance of precipitation. Doesn't look like a whole lot of rain there.
You're talking about Willis?
But yeah,
Friday
66
afternoon.
for the high.
What time's the game at?
Joe, where have you been?
The game
3:30
time?
kick.
I know.
Joe.
I didn't hear that.
Oh
That's on
my
a
gosh!
Friday?
Now I lost my.
It's
train of
Black
thought.
Friday. What are you?
Oh, it's Black Friday.
Pull yourself out of Target, Joe.
Oh, it's
and
Black
get back for
Friday.
the game.
It's Black Friday. That's right. Okay. Oh, this is exciting.
I know. I'm only working 2 days this week.
This is exciting. You're
Well-
telling me I get a Friday at
CBS
3:30?
Sports Network. Let's
Oh,
go.
This is great.
Jack State has officially clinched, for those of you who
Yes.
don't know, that conference championship
And they host.
that spot. Yes, and they will host. So if Liberty loses on Friday, Western Kentucky will
If they win.
win. Oh, they must win. That's right.
Yeah.
So they have to.
We're not
So
worried about that. We're
What
not
if
worried about
what-
it. It's Liberty wins.
Stay focused.
if
and we're in.
Western Kentucky loses, they're still in.
No, because then Sam Houston, because they would have another loss, and then
Yep.
Sam Houston would have won.
Yep.
Right.
Sam
Is that-
Houston would
so
get
Sam
in.
Houston would get in.
Yes.
Sam Houston, Western
gets
Kentucky have
in.
the same record right
Yes.
now.
They get in with a win over us and a Western Kentucky loss. Those two things happen.
Oh, I thought Sam Houston were out.
No, they got shot.
Oh,
Western
so they
Kentucky
still have
loses
a
and Sam wins.
Yes.
They're
Who does
in.
Western Kentucky
Yeah.
play this week?
Jack
week?
Jack State.
Jack State. I mean, this could.
We'll
But if
see
I'm
how-
Jack
Wow.
State, how do you play it if you're Jack
Right.
State?
You're in. You might.
How do you play
this
it?
is a
We're gonna rest some
pseudo-
guys?
Yeah.
I hope everybody has a great.
Hold on.
Oh,
Hold
sorry.
on, he's
Flames
not done.
fantasy, real fast.
Yeah.
All you need to know: big day on the ground. So Cooley and
I should have picked a running back.
48.2 points for Joe. I scored 32.5. Had a good week from Jerome Jolly. Emily scored 18. So Joe has 380. I have 260. Emily with 232.
Stop.
It's all over but the crying.
Stop. Just stop.
This has been a pretty.
We don't need to
This
brag.
is stunk.
Just stop.
This whole season.
All right,
stunk.
that's
No,
the Flames Fantasy League. It'll be interesting next year. I'm playing for next year. Clint
Okay.
Cooley, you know.
M's tanking for the first overall pick.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Well, that's actually not a bad
Um,
idea.
Hope everybody has a great, safe Thanksgiving with
Yes.
their family and friends. We'll be back here on Monday, hopefully celebrating
Hopefully.
a Flames victory and a couple Flames basketball wins as well. Is there anything else? I feel like I'm forgetting.
Pie eating contest.
Oh, yes,
Look
that
for
is.
it this
Thank
week.
you so much. The 5th annual Liberty Football Pie Eating
Gonna wanna watch
Contest
this.
is coming your way this week. This might be one of the best. And if you're looking for a place to eat your pie,
Yes.
I have a Alcova Mortgage guy for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have a little pie. You want to get your own house, right? You want to have your own kitchen. It's the American dream.
Right.
It's the American dream. And
American pie.
And white picket fence, the whole deal, right? You got your apron on.
1.2 children.
Okay, Joe, get to it.
We're going to go to alcova.com/liberty.
Get it done.
And we can take care of you, alumni, employees, staff, you name it. Go there, alcova.com/liberty. Save up to 1% of your total loan amount. So $400,000 loan, you get a $4,000 credit at closing, cash in your pocket towards your closing costs, up to $5,000.
And you might be able to use the Flames thrower. You never know.
And you can use the flame.
Yeah. Come
Why
over
not?
to the compound.
Come over to the
All right.
compound, have a visit.
Thanks so much for listening or watching. For Matt and Joe, I'm Emily. We'll see you right back here next week.